And welcome everybody to the 83rd OPN event. So just to keep in mind our upcoming events that we have our Pitchit E2E, which is taking place on September 10th. If you haven't signed up, please go to the opn.ninja website. You'll be able to sign up and run with our live event where it's entrepreneurs helping entrepreneurs. And we have companies all over the world that join to pitch in there of who they are and what they're all about and the things that they're looking for help with. And then we have September 14th is our founders funding couch, where we'll be talking live with 3 angels. And then we have another pitch event, which will push its way into our Skip the Line event on September 24th. And the event will be very exciting. We're going to have some announcements and some great cool stuff that's going to be coming out of our September 24th event. Where do we fit into the ecosystem? We slot directly in the middle between the angel groups, the VC groups, and of course, on the other side, we have all of the providers that help us put together the great companies that we have pitching today. All of our partners that are found on the left side of the screen. So we thank all of them for all of their work and what they do in the community and where we fit in to help everybody get ready for funding. As you mentioned, our latest investment was into Cheetah Networks, a great new emerging company in the IoT management software space, kind of like Google Analytics for IoT. That's someone to check out if you have any interest. We can certainly make an intro. So for today's pitches, we have Roham, Samantha, Victor, and Jeff. Very exciting. You can see the companies here. So to start off, Roham, you are up. So if you can raise your hand, this will allow me to connect you and put you into the panel. And I will move over Angelo and Jeff, who will be our LPs, helping give the feedback on today's pitches.
Cool.
Okay, well, you've got 7 minutes, and then at the end, we'll transfer me back, and then I will bring the guys in to give feedback.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for having me today. My name is Victor Salinas, and I am the founder of Smart Counsel, which is a platform simplifying the business decisions for small and medium-sized and big corporations. What is a Smart Counsel? The Smart Counsel is a platform helping companies to manage the cash flow and make decisions based on financial projections, and everything is based on automated financial reconciliation process. I would like to talk a little bit about our history. So we started the company in 2009 as a software factory company in Mexico. We basically build solutions for financial institutions, but then in the process, we've been learning a lot of back-end process from financial institutions. And then we realized that we can build solutions, not just for this type of industry, but also for every single one. So in 2017, we decided to start growing our marketing and business here in Canada. So we're part of different accelerator programs. Right now, we are part of Seneca Helix, and we're part also the March Venture Services and the 5G Innovation Program, we're also in Mars. At the end of 2019, we decided to start growing our operations also in Colombia. So right now we have our marketing strategy is basically focused in whole America. So we have operations in South America, Central America, and also in North America here in Canada. So what is a problem that we're planning to solve? Okay. A lot of companies today, they have a different kind of software to manage the internal operations. So they have to deal with accounting software, ERP systems, CRM, and also spreadsheets. So the problem is they have a lot of different systems to manage all this financial information. And the other problem is all this treasury information is not connected with financial institutions. So we have to change and we have to switch different systems in order to analyze all our financial information. And this happens not just for small and side companies, but also for big corporations. So what do we bring into the market? Okay, we build a platform that basically create a very standard process for all these companies to do all this reconciliation process in the backend. So basically, we help them to automate all this backend. First of all, we need to gather information from all different systems, TXT files. We can connect to APIs or also databases. Then, based on some business rules, we identify and match transactions with some algorithm that we already have built in the platform. And then, as a result of this process, we can, first of all, identify how is the money moving in the company. And also, with all this information, we can give some advice and also build a cash flow and financial projection for the company. Just to have some numbers about the market, just in Latin America, we have more than 27 million SMEs operating today. And US market is around 20 million SMEs companies. In Canada, we have more than 1 million SMEs. We're planning to address only the 1% of this huge market, which is, I think, even with that, we're going to plan to grow in the next 2 years. The typical case that we have for any company, it doesn't matter the size, is basically that we are interconnecting all the systems, all the financial information. So you can have an accounting software on SaaS, on-premise, you can have FreshBooks, QuickBooks, Xero, SAP, Oracle, and also you can have a bank accounts in different currencies, in different countries, in any other kind of system that is basically helping you to do all these internal operations. So basically, the platform is going to gather all this information, and based on this business rule, we're going to build financial reports and financial projections for the company. This is some of our current customers that we have. As I mentioned earlier, we start in the financial industry. So HSBC and any other financial institutions already bought our product. But then we realized that we can move to other type of industries. So right now, retailers, fintechs, and also big corporations are looking for this kind of solution. And this is some of our customers. Why these companies choose us? Well, first of all, because we help them to automate all this back-end reconciliation process. So they don't need to spend a lot of time doing these repetitive activities. We have some customizable algorithms. So this platform is based on their needs. So the company, they don't need to move to our platform. So we adapt to their needs. And it's a very easy integration with third platforms. We have two different business models. Right now, we just released the SaaS version. So this is a subscription fee. So we have the basic and professional one. So small and medium businesses can use this application on cloud. But also we have the on-premise one for financial institutions and big corporations. Because, based on the regulations, some of them, they are not allowed to have all this financial information on cloud. So we have two different business models for two different kind of customers. Our financial projection for the following 4 years is basically having around $1 million in sales in 2021 and having $3 million in the following 4 years between on-premise and SaaS business models. This is part of our team. So we already have a very powerful team helping us in different sectors. We have a CTO, we have the person helping us with the security and all this regulation information, and also the marketing and sale, which is help us to grow exponentially in our digital marketing strategy for this year. We are looking for an investment in our first sixth round. We're planning to get investment for the next 24 months in order to get at least 50 enterprise and financial institutions using our platform, and also around 100 small and medium businesses. We're planning to raise around $1 million, and we're planning to have a $10 million revenue in the next 2 years, having our break even in 2022. And that's all. This is who we are. So I'm very glad if you have any questions or comments. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Victor. I'll get you to transfer me back. So next part, what we do is, just to keep everybody familiar, once the company has pitched, we then bring in the angel advisors and investors. So Angelo and Jeff will be providing feedback today. And just to give you guys a quick snapshot of what it looks like, the advisors will provide feedback on maybe a couple of things that they might see that is missing in the application or in their pitch story. But really, at the end of the day, they're giving direct feedback on, is this company investable? What things do they see that they would like to learn more on? Any feedback on market segment and other things that they think could really help and benefit this company throughout their journey. Angelo, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can. So you're good to go. The timer's on. We'll give you 2 minutes.
I thought you said 12 minutes. Not a problem.
We'll meet you in the middle. You can do 2 minutes and 20 seconds. How's that?
Awesome. I love it. I'm giving them access to start their video if they want. There you go. Angelo, you're good to go. Start my video? Okay.
You can if you like.
There's my picture. Unfortunately, I think I've been zooming too much, and I seem to have, my face has seemed to broken my camera. So,
that's okay. You're good to go. Thank you.
Right. So, Victor, thank you so much for your presentation. I think you did a great job. I like the space that you're in, and I like several aspects of the current status of where you are and your journey on how you got there. So I'm pleased to see that you have traction and some pretty good names there, and you've also created solutions to, as you described, 2 different type of customer bases, right? So I love all of that stuff. As an investor, I always like to get a gauge of the potential in terms of the growth of a company. And I do see this quite a bit in terms of, here is the market potential. And if I only get 1%, imagine how big that is. So I think I would recommend that you start to quantify that in more realistic terms, as opposed to 1% will yield a significant amount. So more clarity on not only the available market that you're going to try and attract, but what is your portion of that marketplace? The ask, the $1 million ask, I think you've identified some good metrics as to what you need to accomplish with the ask, with those funds. But I feel that I'd like to get more clarity on what are you willing to give up in return for that investment. And also, I'd like to get a sense of, how do I see a return on my investment? What is the exit strategy? Long-term vision of the company beyond the 2022 break even? Are you going to be acquired? Are you going to go IPO? All of those elements I'd like to see. So hopefully that's within my 2 minutes and 20 seconds, Jeffrey.
You actually still have 3 seconds to go, but nice work. I like that.
Thank you, Victor. There you go. I used it all up.
Thank you so much, Angelo.
Jeff.
Thank you very much, Angelo.
You're welcome.
Jeff, you're good to jump in as well.
Okay. There, can anyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Victor, again, very, very good presentation. Thank you. I'm famous for going over the 2 minutes, but Angelo pretty much nailed the majority of the points I wanted to bring up. I thought it was a very good presentation. It was perhaps maybe a little too sales-based. Like I say, it from pitching it to a customer or a potential, into a general group of general customers. I thought you did a very good overview of the company. It gives a very good overview of what you're trying to do, what your market's going to be, where you're coming from, the history of yourself and your company, your board of advisors, all good stuff. That's typically stuff that customers want to see. It's also stuff investors want to see. what I find a lot of, and I think it's the angel investment market is becoming a much tighter market. So I think when you're doing a presentation to investors or potential investors, I think you maybe want to give a little bit of a quicker overview on the market and the product and what it's going to do, and a faster intro into what are you going to do? How are you going to make money for your potential investors? Things like Angelo talked about. You want to hear things. You want to highlight things like, why you're better than your competition. Try never to say things like there is no competition, but highlight why you're better than the competition, how you are going to stand out. What your, like you say, what your true, growth plan is and how you're going to achieve it, specifically around sales and marketing. Things like Angelo said, when you're asking for X amount of money, maybe give a little bit of a further description. Are you looking for a convertible note? Is it equity? Is it a safe? What type of a tool? Because, angel investors are usually looking for, some sort of a convertible note with a payable interest. You'll catch investors' interest quicker with that.
10 seconds.
And then, of course, an exit plan, just like Angelo mentioned. So very, very good presentation, but I think you just might want to zoom in a little bit quicker and a little more specific on how you're going to help the potential investors you're pitching to. Otherwise, great work.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Victor, thank you very much for that, for your pitch. As mentioned, well done. And just to quantify all this for you, I guess one of the things that you want to look at is more detail around what you're showing for your investment side. So adding in a little bit of detail if it's a convertible note or if you're looking at equity, and then a couple other things that might be able to drive more into it. Maybe it's on your ask side. Maybe because of the competitive nature of the market, you might have to go to the market asking a little bit less to be able to prove that stage. I think a little bit more information on yourself might be good because you've built a company, you've done a lot of great things. And I think a little bit more about yourself would be really helpful because you're the driver of this business and you've come a long way in your journey. So I think people would be interested to hear the successes that you've currently had. So I think a little bit more about that. And then I think on the product side, you did a great detail on showing why and what your product can do. So I think you really overviewed a lot of that. So I think that's some great feedback.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you, all of you. I think it's really good feedback. Thank you.
Okay, so up next, we will have Samantha. Why don't you jump in next?
Hello, how's it going?
Very good, perfect.
Good. All right, so I will share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, everyone can see the screen, I'm assuming, but let me know if you can't. All righty.
Good to go.
Awesome. So thank you for having us. Today, I'm pitching MetaRanks alongside my co-founder. I'm Samantha Lloyd. I'm the CEO.
I'm Lizen Casey. I'm the CTO.
And MetaRanks is a no-code AI builder. So the problem with artificial intelligence today is that the industry needs are going to outpace our current growth unless we find a way to train, educate, and include more people in the process of building AI applications. Currently, the AI market spend is predicted to hit 190 billion by 2025. While this is great for AI, it's also an issue. There's only 22,000 people qualified globally who are working in it, and it's expected to add 133 million jobs by 2022. As well, bias is growing in AI, and there's an increase of that predicted over the next 5 years exponentially. Only unbiased AIs will achieve adoption and thrive, especially with federal agencies using them. So there's a demand for trust and transparency in these systems. And as well, there's AI gaps in companies and countries that will have it, which will exponentially impact their GDP growth. So we decided to take this and put it for the no-code market. The no-code market is intended to hit 53 billion by 2024. And this essentially allows everyone to become an expert in artificial intelligence. And that is our goal with a no-code AI builder.
And the way we wanted to accomplish this is by building a platform that was really, really easy for users to build and use AI applications in. Currently, there's a lot of jargon, and how you go about creating AI models is very complicated. And honestly, for a lot of times, you need a PhD. So being able to put that all in the background and really focus on the tasks that the AI is accomplishing, so that the users trying to solve their problems with AI don't have to worry about how the AI works, how you train it, how you set up all of the infrastructure so it works. They're just worried about their data, their AI task, and getting it to work for their business problem.
So the way we see MetaRanks working is that we have a software platform where you would build no-code AI applications, and also a marketplace where you could share and sell what you've created. So our main target is the no-code builders. They're entrepreneurial and early adopters. As I mentioned, it's a $53 billion market. They will be the ones actually building AI applications on the platform. And then we also see a market for developers and data scientists for the rapid application development market. That's where we have most of our competitors, such as Pelterion. So it's a $46.2 billion market by 2023, and we predict that they'll upload things like data sets and templates to share on the marketplace and sell. Then we have the business decision maker market. AI is a priority for 83% of decision makers in businesses, but they don't have the ability to actually implement it. So this would allow them to integrate with anything on the marketplace and use it for their business. And then we also have a small market of hobbyists and enthusiasts. So this is our projected growth in revenue over the next few years, capturing a small percent of each of these markets. We earn revenue by users training and building creations on our platform. Anytime a user calls, which is a use of their creation. Anytime something is sold or bought across the marketplace. And also there's a monthly subscription fee to host your AI applications on the marketplace and have uses and training and deployment time and all that.
So currently, how the AI creation process works is that you need to prepare and clean your data set. You need to find a data science specialist to pick the right model for you. You have to have them create GPU infrastructures to be able to train this model. And then you also need an engineer to actually take this trained model and create an API out of it. We want to put that all behind the scenes. You still need to have your clean and prepared data set, but that's all you need to have. The MetaRanks will take care of everything from training the AI, from finding the right model for you, from training it to creating the API process for you. And what actually sets us apart from our competitors is that how easy it will be for users to use it, and also the marketplace, which will allow people to share resources for building AIs.
So Liza, covered up a lot of our kind of differentiators from our competitors. So we're truly no code. This isn't a platform where you have to be a developer or data scientist. You can just work on the platform. It's like a graphical interface. API integration is super simple. It's a one-click host. Our marketplace allows anyone to share and sell, and also aggregate some open source resources for people to use. My background's in marketing, specifically content and SEO.
I'm a full stack developer.
Previously, we ran a small business together, was a digital agency, and we also currently host a podcast together. So we're asking for $250,000 for about 10% of our company. The company would join the cap table of us, and also the Upside Foundation, which we've pledged 1% to. So thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to your feedback.
Perfect. Nice job. Right on time.
Awesome. Ooh, yay. I think a couple seconds over.
No, that's okay. It was good. Jeff, do you want to start?
There, sure, of course. Great presentation, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have to be honest, though, it was perhaps for the average investor, unless the investor has a lot of experience or knowledge in AI, I think it might be a little too complex, a little too involved. I think, like I say, you typically with businesses, as you know, there's two types of businesses. One where you're solving an existing, immediate need, and then of course the other one is where you're trying to build a product that's going to satisfy a future need or anticipate a future need. And I think yours falls into the latter category. So that's always going to be. You have to spend a little bit more time, I think, convincing investors that there truly is a need for it. And then, of course, similar to my comments to the last person, I don't think you spent quite enough time talking about really what does an investor want to hear? How am I going to make money with this, right? Like you're very passionate about your product and your processes, but when you're making a pitch like this, you need to be thinking all along is I have to convince, you're not convincing the investor to buy, you're convincing the investor to give you money because he's going to make money. So I wasn't from your presentation. I didn't see, really good financial projections. I didn't hear an exit strategy, which angel investors are so many angel investors have money tied up now. They're really looking for quicker turnarounds, potential, who your real competitors are, who your potential exit strategy would be. So like I say, your presentation skills are phenomenal, but I think you're just missing some of the key points that investors want to hear on how they're going to make money and how they're going to get an exit from this presentation. That really wasn't there at any level. But like I said, it's maybe just try and make it just a little bit simpler, and assume that the investors don't understand all that much about AI. But like I said, as far as the presentation itself, it's fantastic. I'd like to learn more about the process myself, actually.
That's great. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Jeff. Okay. Angelo, you're good to go.
Hi, Samantha and Lizen. I actually have seen you present before, I believe, okay? And I have been meaning to follow up with you, but unfortunately I lost your contact info. So I really want to go through that journey again, all right? Because I'd like to provide some assistance. I really like the space that you're in. I am a hardware guy, so I understand the whole concept of open source to a certain degree. And I liken this, what you're trying to accomplish, to a similar type of space, right? Create, share, and sell, right? I love the concept. You did touch on a couple of things that actually intrigued, which is the huge growth within a very short period of time. I think Jeff just sneezed at my comment. And but I'd like to get more context on that. So in your presentation, you should really say, identify clearly what is your current traction and how you're going to be able to fuel that rapid hockey stick growth, right? It wasn't clear to me that you presented the basis that validates that the growth potential. I think it's there, but you need to quantify why you guys are the right guys to be able to accomplish that.
Yeah.
I think you need to also concentrate more on identifying as a basis of substantiating the opportunities that exist out there. Who are your competition? I know you talked about your key differentiators, but you also need to quantify that with how sustainable is that differentiation? How are you going to protect others from encroaching and replicating your approach and your model? And that includes, is there any IP that is possible that can be established to prevent that and raise the opportunity of being able to accomplish the dramatic growth opportunities? And a lot of the other elements Jeff covered off. Really, I'd like to get more clarity on the use of funds and how much of a runway does that give you? Is that sufficient for accomplishing specific growth metrics? And you need to identify those things. So that's my feedback. Hopefully I'm within time. Definitely let's connect. Okay. I think you have my contact info. So all right. Great. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thank you, Angelo. You blew Jeff away for timing, but that's okay. So it doesn't happen always, but it was good. So just to kind of retrench all of that and give some follow-up. So what I'd like to say is, share is that some of the things that they talked about, and we chatted to a few of these, but putting together more of what the competition looks like, and then how you guys from a business side are going to actually turn this into a more structured business. What's the costing? What's the SaaS model look like? And then how much revenue can you generate from this? What's it going to look like in the next 6 to 12 months? And then deep dive into that, where you're going to be able to say, in 3 years, the business should be able to accommodate this much of the market. And this is the earth-shattering moment of when this is going to hockey stick upwards, as they mentioned, and how you deal with that rapid growth. And, even things, a little bit of traction details you can share is even how you're going to host it. Where is it running off AWS servers, and what's going to be the best way for you guys to manage a lot of businesses that are coming into this, even some statistical information around the amount of businesses that don't actually have ownership that understands code, and that this is a great fix for them. So a lot of great things that I'll be able to work on, but I appreciate your time, guys, and thank you very much for the pitch.
Thank you.
Okay, Jeff, you are up next.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name's Jeff Kahler. I'm a 4-time fitness entrepreneur, and I'm the proud founder and CEO of Vorpal Fitness Incorporated. Today, I'd like to share something with you that's both highly disruptive and highly confidential. I rebuilt my life from homelessness at 19 to serial entrepreneurship by learning to value myself through helping and coaching others. After a decade of personal training inside consumers' homes, I've come to understand them and their needs and struggles on a deeply personal level. I've also become very good at helping them overcome those struggles by focusing on just 3 core needs. So Vorpal Fitness is a seed stage SaaS company with an AI network of wearable fitness trackers and a mobile platform designed to make workouts safer and more effective for consumers of all levels in much the same way I do in person. I started mobile personal training when I learned there's an 80% drop-off in gym membership use only 8 weeks into signing up. Now, to be clear, that means if someone worked out 5 days a week, 8 weeks later, it's only once a week, which isn't even enough to see any results. 6 months in, 50% of members stop going, and some gyms actually have 70% of their members paying rent for a building they never even visit. Sadly, home fitness equipment doesn't fare any better. And at the end of the day, it's because consumers need to know they're doing things safely and in a way that will lead to success. Otherwise, they simply quit. Our wearable AI network of fitness trackers is called Spot, the same thing you should call out in a gym if you're in trouble while lifting. They not only recognize what exercise is being performed, they know how well it's being done, and provide users with real-time, actionable cues and tips about their form and execution through an intuitive user interface app that also creates workouts, tracks results, and rewards use with a gamified point system and social integration. The global wearable fitness tracker market is set to exceed $50 billion in the next few years. And although COVID-19 has closed and restricted many fitness facilities, home fitness equipment is selling off the shelves at an unprecedented rate. In Canada alone, fitness wearable sales should near $250 million this year. Our year one goal is to break 200,000 in sales, which is less than 0.1% of that in Canada. If we look at Garmin, a similar wearables competitor serving the endurance athlete space, you can see a 23.8% year-over-year growth rate, which is actually accelerating as technology improves. It's also worth noting that though non-consumer use is currently a smaller piece of the market, it's a market segment that is significantly outgrowing other wearable uses. We see great opportunities in firefighting, law enforcement, military, professional sports, and manual labor as examples. We will boldly go where no one has gone before. I'm sorry, I know that's cheesy. I couldn't resist. As you can clearly see, there's no shortage of GPS trackers and step and sleep counters out there. But despite how important weight-bearing exercise is, hiring a fitness professional is still the only way for consumers to get the feedback they truly need to successfully train in the gym. Spot is the only wearable fitness tracker designed to make workouts safer and more effective anywhere. We're projecting break even with full repayment of investor initial capital within year 3. I'm sorry, that looks like it's hidden there. To be clear, that's not equity buyout, just a repayment of the initial investment on a first in, first out basis. Estimates from South Korean manufacturing indicate potential 80% gross margins on the wearables once we exceed only 5,000 units per order. I'm proud to tell you we have a globally respected expert in digital training data as an advisor. Hunter Allen literally wrote the book that forever changed cycling, training and racing with a power meter. He invented a cutting-edge, data-backed training philosophy and analysis software that changed the way endurance athletes around the world trained and tracked their performance at the highest of levels. When I told him I was extending his work to help general fitness consumers, he immediately asked how he could help and has already helped us establish our proof of concept. Now, to get to market from where we are today, we're seeking $500,000 in exchange for 12.5% equity. We've broken that down into 3 stages of spending. $50,000 to complete our prototypes, further protect our IP, and begin a basic app. $150,000 to complete our beta app, purchase Canadian insurance, and complete our beta testing. And lastly, $300,000 to purchase international insurance, launch and advertise a crowdfunding campaign while continuing to conduct our research and development and scale operations to demand. Please consider joining our mission to enable the 80% of struggling fitness consumers around the world with safer, more effective workouts using our IoT, AI wearables, and SaaS platform. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that, Jeff.
Thank you.
I'm going to, Angelo, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Great job, Jeff. Unfortunately, you can't see me, but if you did, you'd see that I'm really pumped up. Actually, I'm not. But I like the journey that you described in your presentation. So kudos to you. And I also want to commend you on the success that you have in transitioning from where you were to where you are now.
Thank you.
So that's an inspiration, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. So I'd like to, in terms of the presentation itself, I'd like to get a sense of how you are solving the issue that you described, the problem. You talked about 80% being unsatisfied, but I would like to get a better sense of how you're going to overcome that issue that exists in the marketplace. And I agree that the planning and the feedback and the personal touch is a key area that really will differentiate yourself from the other competitors. But I would like to get more details if you were pitching in front of me on the insurance requirement need. What would that encompass? In the SaaS model that you're talking about, it didn't describe to me what are the cost models that you're providing to your customers. How does the hardware integration integrate with a recurring revenue stream on a go-to-market strategy, and also some further substantiation on how you're going to grow from 239K to 4.4 million in a short period of time. What is that based on? How are you going to do the marketing and be able to capture that significant user base? So thank you so much, Jeff. And again, thank you for the sharing the journey.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Angelo. Good. Thank you. And Jeff, please jump in.
Okay, Jeff, good presentation as well. I liked it. I'm a consumer of wearables, so it caught my interest right away. So I found it interesting, and it's always nice to see new companies on the market that are going to, try and do something a little bit different than, like you say, Garmin or Fitbit or some of the popular ones out there. Your presentation was good. It was interesting. And I think it's a product that's going to catch a lot of people's attention, because everything you said about the fitness market, both gym memberships and at-home membership, is true. And again, even though I'm an athlete and all my kids are athletes, we're all guilty of that, buying stuff and not utilizing it anywhere to its full capability. I agree, just sort of building on what Angelo said, I would like to see perhaps a little bit more detail about how you're going to sell it. With it's a great product, but it's a tough market. There's, millions have to be spent in marketing and advertising, to catch the attention and compete with the big boys in this, even to get a very small market share. So I'd like to see, in your presentation as an investor, just a little bit more about how, you are going to go about marketing and selling it. Is it going to be online? Are you going to, is it going to be B2B, B2C? So just a little more detail on that. I think your valuation, in angel investing in a post-COVID world, I'm afraid from a company point of view, it's very different than the pre-COVID world. I'm afraid that for a pre-revenue company, your valuation might be a little high. I see a lot of pitches. I get involved in a lot of deals, and I've seen valuations drop off the cliff, unfortunately, post-COVID. So you just might want to be careful. You were very good in telling us exactly what you're looking for. $500,000 for 12% equity, or 12.5. But like I say, that puts your valuation, near $5 million, which, like I say, I think is just perhaps a little high, but something to think about. But other than that, like I say, it's very good. I think it's really just about a little more specific, and also, who do you think, who do you see your exit being? My guess is, one of the big players would want to buy you out, but you might want to be a little more specific on that. But I think if you could really just focus in on future presentations as to how you're going to sell and market it specifically, I think you've covered off a lot of the other stuff really well.
Thank you. I'd just like to say, for anybody who has any interest, that it was a pre-discounted valuation, and we're fully expecting to negotiate on that one. But I appreciate all your feedback. Thank you so much.
No, that's great. Thank you very much for that, Jeff. And just to kind of summarize this, I think there's some of the things that you need to look into is going to be more around the SaaS cost and better understanding what the value is, what you're selling it for, so your COGS, and then how this is going to integrate into other applications. Are you going to be able to pull data from other products to make and improve your product? Or is that something that's not really needed? So I guess there's some of those things that you're able to value. On the valuation side, I think 100% you've looked at it and made the comment that it's something that you're evaluating, which is good. And I guess in a way, to Angelo's point, when you're growing the company from the 2 million or 200,000 to the 4 million, how are you going to scale through that? What's the opportunity? Are you creating partnerships? Do you have some LOIs already in place that are going to help make sure that this moves quickly to meet that? But then also, I think you got to look at, how is this expandable? Is there someone that's going to pick this product up, or is it just based online? How are you going to get across Canada into the United States in those types of deliveries to be able to meet that demand? And then when you do have that demand, is there an MRR model where, in order to connect to the network, just like a Peloton, where you're continuously paying a few dollars to be connected to your network to pull the data? And then what does that look like? And is that something that's interesting for a customer, that they can really dive into that meat and potatoes that's going to help them improve and become a better athlete? And maybe that's where you're driving it to, is that your end goal is that you're converting people into better athletes, and this product's going to help them get there. And then you bring in a bunch of athletes that are really going to support the growth of your product and how it helped them become stronger, fitter, better, faster in the gym, preparing for these things. So
Excellent.
Overall, great job. And when you do go on the next pitch, you're going to be memorizing it, and I'm sure there's going to be no paperwork, and you're going to be singing along. So I'm excited to see that.
Apologies for that. Yes.
Oh, don't apologize, man. That's what this is all about. It's all practice to get better. So very appreciative of your time. So thank you very much. Jeff, there is a question in the Q&A section on the app that you can answer, and feel free to chime in on that. You can do that in text format. And Samantha, there's also a question in the Q&A section for you. So please feel free to jump into that. And just to share that Roham from Lyra, they're actually pitching at Skidline, so they're not going to be here today. They have pitched before. They're doing well. They will be here in a month's time. So We've actually went through the 3 great companies today, so I want to thank everybody for attending. This might feel like the fastest event show that we've ever had. Normally, we have a lot more timing, but I think Jeff and Angelo, you guys really timed it out nice and well for that. So thank you guys for providing that amazing feedback. And I'm going to copy this question for you, Samantha. It basically is any examples of what AIs will do, what your AI will do. So I'm not 100% sure how that would work, but you can, that would be the question. Adil, you might want to share the question with a little bit more detail, I guess, to help out there. Okay, well, I appreciate your time. You guys did a great job. We are going to chat again after this, of course. And if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out. But I think that went very quick and smooth. So, yeah, fastest pitch event we've ever run. We might not ever have to change this format.
Well, that means I need to take more time next time, right?
No.
All this free time you guys are booked till 5. Now you've got 2 hours of time. I'm just kidding. I don't think everybody was booked till 5. But either way, thank you very much, guys, for joining. And feel free to reach out anytime with any questions you have. As Laura mentioned, we do have, or as it was mentioned throughout the documents, that we do have an upcoming event. And you can find the details at opn.ninja.